Now we are coming to Jerusalem, and we're studying from the triumphal entry, the 7 days through the cross. This is 35% of our Gospels. All of the Gospel writers, Matthew, Mark, Luke, and John, assigned great importance to this period in Jesus' ministry. We begin the ministry with the triumphal entry. This is generally celebrated as Palm Sunday in our churches. Jesus is riding on the back of a donkey, and they are shouting Hosanna and putting down palm branches and welcoming the great Nazarene to the city of Jerusalem. What a welcoming it is, but what a short-lived welcoming the triumphal entry is. We learn that Jesus returns to Bethany, and then he comes back to Jerusalem on Monday, and there is a withered tree on the way to Jerusalem. And he points out that that withered tree is a lot like the Jewish faith, that is not a vibrant faith that is growing and winning people. And so the Jewish leaders are thought to be much like the withered tree, and that is where Jesus talks about clearing the temple on Monday. And he comes to the temple and again clears the temple. We found that Jesus cleared the temple earlier in his ministry. I believe this is the second clearing of the temple. He wants the temple to be a house for God's worship. He doesn't want sale of many coins and sale of doves and animals to be a part of his temple. So we are given very great guidance on what our church should be. Our church today should be a place where we can worship and worship Jesus Christ at the center of our temple. And so after clearing the temple, Jesus then confronts the Pharisee leaders. And the Pharisees, they are always questioning Jesus. And so the Pharisees knew there were probably over 600 rabbinical laws at the time. And so the Pharisees wanted to trick Jesus. And they asked him, okay, Jesus, what are the greatest laws? There's 600 and some of these that we have to follow. And that is where Jesus would say, to learn to love God and love your neighbor. The centerpiece of the ministry of Jesus, the centerpiece of the Sermon on the Mount, the centerpiece of his summarizing all the Jewish laws at the time, were to love God with all your heart, mind, and soul, and to learn to love your neighbor. So in his temple teachings, he really goes back to the basic teachings that he is reminding all of us in the Sermon on the Mount, that we are to love God first and then love our neighbor, and what important and a centerpiece teachings those are. And then he moves to the Mount of Olives, and Jesus crosses the Jordan River, and he comes to the Mount of Olives, and that is where he is going to do some final teaching to his disciples. The disciples will ask, well, when is the end of time? And Jesus would say, I don't know. That alone is up to my Lord and God. And so Jesus is doing great teachings to his disciples. And the three parables that he uses are the 10 virgins, the parable of the talents, and the parable of the sheep and goats. The 10 virgins is about the 5 virgins who had filled their lamps with oil and were prepared, and the 5 virgins who did not prepare, and how the 5 virgins that were prepared were welcomed into the kingdom of God. And then the idea of the parable of the talents, how each individual was given a talent, and one person took that talent and multiplied it, and it became 10 talents. Another person took the talent and multiplied it, it became 100 talents. And then one person that buried the talent was pleased that he brought the talent back to the Lord. And that latter person was really chastised as being not an active servant. And how we are called today to use our talents in the kingdom, whether our talent is teaching Sunday school, singing in a choir, evangelizing, whatever talents we have been given by Jesus Christ and our Lord in our lives, we're to find our talents and we're to use our talents as best we can. And so this is really the conclusion of the first lessons, the first treks to Jerusalem. We will move in our next set of lessons to the upper room and Jesus teaching about the time had come. But now we are to really realize the importance of worshiping Jesus and celebrating Palm Sunday, how important it is to emphasize the core teachings of Jesus Christ, and how we as followers of Jesus Christ are to multiply our talents and to use them in his kingdom. How great thou art.